It's quarantine day. Again. It's having one of those Groundhog Day moments where I feel like we're just kind of coming back to you one more time, but we got to keep eating, so we're going to keep shooting. Thanks so much for watching. We had a lot of fun doing yesterday, had a lot of great engagement, but before we get into the recipe, we got big news going on here at the Quarantine Cafe. We got merch! Sorry, just went through puberty there with the voice cracking. This wonderful t-shirt is thanks to my friend Kate Rollins down in Baton Rouge. She owns Inked Apparel Company. Inked is in tattooed. Has some wonderful t-shirt designs. If you have any liking towards Louisiana, especially since we just recently had the greatest college football season at all time at LSU, please look her up, give her some love, order some shirts. I'm going to be doing the same, but thank you, Kate, for this. This is so much fun. We have our own Quarantine Cafe t-shirt, so couldn't be more excited about it.
We're official!
We're official! It's like Navin finding his name in the phone book. I'm a somebody now!
Yeah.
So kind of in honor of that, and had me thinking about Louisiana and looking through our pantry, realized that we hadn't really worked with dried beans yet. We're going to kind of do some type of a goof on red beans and rice. We were kind of looking through, like, all right, what's our bean status looking like? We had canned red kidney beans, because Wendy makes a damn fine chili. If I can't talk today. So Wendy makes a wonderful chili, but I didn't want to go for those. We had black beans, we had cannellini beans, we had chickpeas, but we didn't have any actual red beans. So what we do have are pinto beans, because I've been craving red beans and rice, and the thing about the dried beans that I like more than the canned for something like this is they cook a lot creamier. Just something about the brining process or the canning process. The skins tend to toughen up a little bit, so I kind of like being able to cook them down myself, mash them up, get them a little creamy. But we will go ahead and get started.
Well, and you soaked those overnight, correct?
I did. I soaked these overnight in cold water. The beans will absorb, and they'll you'll see just them swell in volume from doing that. I add a little bit of salt to mine, almost like a brine. That's something, a fairly new development, because like I said yesterday, for those of you who are watching, we were always taught, don't salt dried beans until the end, it'll make them tough, when, in reality, it's acidity, so from things like tomatoes that make them tough. So this is we're really getting a lot of bang for our buck out of the spicy sausage. If you have andouille, if you have chorizo, if you have linguiça, any kind of spiced sausage would be great here. This was seriously, like, we were looking down for protein options in Publix when I made this run. It was down to spicy beef sausage or beef liver, and that was it. And I personally love offal and liver and things like that, but my wonderful wife does not.
No.
So spicy sausage it is.
You make two separate batches, one with the offal and one with the normal stuff.
Which, I could do and probably will with chicken livers at some point if this thing carries on and meat becomes remains in limited supply. It's starting to open up a little bit, but something about chicken liver mousse is speaking to me.
Yeah, definitely one of my comfort dishes has always been the Hillshire Farm sausage. Which we've got some of here, and rice. Whenever I was younger and didn't cook that well, I just would make some of that, and it always made me feel better.
This is, there's something about rice that I think is inherently comforting as it is, and to me, any form of rice and beans, regardless of nationality, ethnicity, be it from our Indian Pakistani place that I go to a lot, Lahore Grill, they have this thing called Lahori Chole, which is this kind of stewed chickpeas and potatoes dish that I eat with basmati rice. If it's going to Mexico or kind of Cuban cuisine with black beans and rice, or really anywhere in the world, that speaks to me in comfort.
Okay, we've got some people in the house. We got Krista Miller is back after her successful risotto with leeks.
Yeah, right on.
And Deborah Stacy and Morgan.
Hello, everybody.
Dean Dupuis is also back,
hey,
and
Dean.
Sharon Park loves the frijoles.
That's right. Same here. So, this is one of those to where kind of do the best you can with what you have. If you have the means to buy all the fresh stuff and can get some mileage out of it, This is what they call in Louisiana cooking the Trinity. So onions, celery. We really got our money's worth out of the crappy celery sticks package. I personally do not like green bell peppers. If that's all you have and all you can get your hands on, or you like them, that's cool. These are poblanos. They just have more flavor and just taste better. I think green bell peppers just taste like wasted potential. If you have, if you're really living off the canned and the box stuff, the canned green chilies that are diced up, those are a good substitute to use. Always salt when we put aromatic vegetables in. Draw some of that moisture out. So I'm splitting the sausage up because, you know, I want to have some surface area in that pot for my vegetables to soften up. We're going to go with the rest of our sausage in next, but I definitely wanted the spicy to render because I'm not going to add a ton of additional spices in this. You know, there are a million different recipes for red beans and rice, and you'll see some that call for Cajun seasoning or cayenne or, you know, various powdered and dried spices, and sausage kind of has that in there already, so if we cook that out, it'll permeate through the dish and we'll be good to go.
Got some more people. I got Melanie Bozeman in the house.
Hey, Melanie.
Ben Heisler and Charlie Rose.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for watching.
We're doing a spoof on beans and rice.
That's right. I wished I would have had the option to buy actual red beans, but you know, it's kind of doing the best we can with what we have and what's available. And you know, we're working with dried beans today. For those of you just joining us, if canned is all you have, that's fine too. You'll just kind of need to adjust the amount of liquid that we use here in a little bit.
Okay. A lot of our friends love those Rancho Gordo beans.
Yes, and we have some up in our pantry as well that for whatever reason they haven't broken into yet. But yeah, if that's, you know, if we're looking through the internet to be able to find things, they're a little pricier, but they're amazing quality. Look them up online. They're out of California, Rancho Gordo beans.
What would be a good bean varietal? To any of them? Any of those?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of, I mean, they have things from dried yellow eye peas to ayacote beans to kind of everything in between. So, you know, you can just kind of see what looks similar enough to, you know, if you like things that kind of would resemble red kidney beans, you can buy things like that. They have things that are closer to black beans, anything like that. Whatever your preference. Or you can just, I think they even have like little sampler packs and, you know, kind of entry-level stuff.
That's fun.
So, yeah. So, getting a little softness on the vegetables. Garlic going in.
Gotta have the garlic.
That's right.
So, fun fact, Jeffrey does not like raw onions.
That's
but
right.
he cooks with them quite a bit.
Well, they don't stay raw.
Yeah.
They start raw, but no, that's you know, the 10 things I hate about life challenge that everybody's been putting out there. Yeah, raw onions are not my fave.
Or bananas.
Yeah.
So what are 10 things that you don't like that other people like?
Let's see. What fireworks, camping.
Yeah, I know you hate camping. Banana. Well, you said bananas already.
Johnny Cash. That's going to be a controversial one. I really don't like much country music anyway, but I think Johnny Cash is horrifically overrated. This is going to be a shame coming from someone who could have been a third-generation car dealer, but cars and trucks have no interest to me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Very cool.
So yeah, so we got a little bit of softness on this. This is one of those kind of pick an herb, any herb. This is dried thyme. If you have fresh, that would be good. We don't. So that goes.
What are some other herbs that could be pick an herb, any herb?
Let's see. If you had dried oregano, if you had just kind of like a poultry seasoning blend, which has some of the Simon and Garfunkel herbs in there, that would be fine. Dried rosemary wouldn't suck.
Very cool.
So any of that. So just looking for that to get a little bit fragrant.
Let's take a look. It's looking good.
Yeah. So here's where some of these recipes tend to vary, and I'll just give you the option if you like stuff like this. Some recipes will call for tomato paste. Some won't. I know we mentioned yesterday buying the kind in the tube versus the kind in the can. So this is kind of my preference or our preference. I'm not going to add any to this because I'm looking for a little more of that bean stew. But if you want that kind of deeper, rich, kind of almost slightly tomatoey flavor, I would add it in now and kind of let it toast in the pan. versus adding it in later and it kind of being like tomato-colored water. But if you add it in now and stir it around, let it caramelize, almost turn that rust color before adding some more of the ingredients in, that's how I would approach that.
Yum.
Yeah.
Smells great in here.
So now more sausage.
Yay.
And if you have, this is, again, if you have ham hocks and want to put those in and then want to, pick the meat off of that after they simmer and cook. If you have...
What about bacon?
Yeah, bacon would be fine. If you had smoked turkey, they'll actually make smoked turkey breast. If you had any type of ham or tasso or, super traditional, which no one would have, is pickled pork. Whatever you got. If it's sausages from other types of meats, if you have venison sausage, if you have anything like that, just whatever kind of makes it a good hearty blend. Or if you want to ride the vegetarian train and want to leave this out altogether, that's fine.
So as a recap, we were doing a spoof on red beans and rice with pinto beans and sausage and all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah. All of the goodness.
So what are 5 things you do like that other people like?
You.
Aw.
That's number 1.
That's very sweet. Reality shows?
No, I don't like reality.
Yeah, you do.
No, there's one.
Top Chef and Iron Chef and...
Iron Chef's more, it's more like competition game shows than reality shows. I don't know. I think of reality shows as,
drama.
Something like that. Yeah, no.
But Survivor's on there.
You don't know me at all.
That's not true. I think of Survivor as a reality show.
I know. But anyway, I don't know. Things that involve people gathering together. Live music, live comedy, going out to eat and drink and things like that. Probably going to hold off on the salt on that. So just looking to get a little bit of color on the sausage. Once that's developing some flavor, going in with the beans, which we have soaked overnight. I have picked through because that's just kind of what you do to make sure that no little pebbles or anything get caught, trapped in there. I've never really found, I think I may have found one in my lifetime of doing that. So,
your dad's in the house.
Hey, Dad.
Don and Cindy from Ecuador.
They're down in Ecuador. So these are just soaked and drained.
Lisa Mullins says, Top Chef is no quarantine cafe, but it's still pretty good.
Now, we get to the point now where, I've had several friends that have done Top Chef, so that's, certainly not an avenue I want to go down.
Yeah, I was going to say, I asked you when we first started dating if you wanted to go on Top Chef, and you said, I would only go if I knew that I could win.
Yeah,
and you weren't there yet.
And, I actually had someone who was my classmate in culinary school that made it to the finals on the last season. He's kind of an a-hole. So I don't know. I might rethink it these days, but I'm done as far as the being on that side, because now now that format is you cook something, you stand in front of the Inquisition panel, they tell you suck, and then you go home.
Yeah, that's never fun, and you don't win anything.
No, and even
put your life on hold and
not for me. So beans are in. We're gonna add some chicken broth. Add whatever liquid you got. I'm gonna put it in just to kind of barely cover the top. I want this to be a definite stew, kind of creamy consistency. As the beans do soften up, I'm gonna use my spoon and kind of mash them against the side. If I need to add more liquid, I did not add all this in. I can kind of add more as I go, but it's really hard to take out. We'll check our seasoning once it has time to absorb. And then really once it cooks down, from there you can kind of garnish it however you like. If you're on the green onion team, those can go in at the end. If you are a hot sauce fan, this is my new favorite. This is called Hoff Sauce. My friend Nick Nespajani gave me this bottle and turned me onto this. This is a guy based out of Chattanooga, and I now put this on everything. I'll stick some on my finger and rub it on my gums like like Tyrone Biggums from Chappelle. But anyway, so that's really it.
Well, we have a question.
Question's good.
Morgan is asking,
Yes, Morgan.
some say you can soak those puppies for less time in hot water. Do you think this works, or does it mess with some aspects of beanie goodness?
It's not something I've tried. I'm just kind of going with what I know works. If you happen to have a pressure cooker or an Instant Pot, you can skip the soaking stage altogether with those. My instinct would say that the heat initially would start to kind of toughen it, and after a while it would cool down, but give it a shot and report back.
Yeah, that's right. You can try this at home.
That's right. And we wish you would. And post pictures and all that. So any other questions before we...
Nope, that's all.
All right, so instead of just awkwardly staring at you guys while this is cooking down, we're going to sign off and just let this simmer. We'll post the recipe and post pictures later on. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Please stay safe this weekend, stay indoors, and wash those hands. See you guys.